Hi guys, welcome back. Simanga Michael Japa here. I'm a personal trainer and I'm an online coach. And today we're gonna go over the other exercise because like I said in the previous video, someone left me a DM on arm exercises. They want to do arm exercises that are gonna help them basically grow their arms. So today I'm gonna talk about the other one that I think is really good, and that is the overhead tricep extension with the cable. I want to preface this video by saying when it comes to exercise in general, because this person also sent me a DM on which exercise should I do, how many sets, how many reps, all that stuff. Um, rather err on the side of doing a little bit less, because you can always add more. Just change how you do the exercises. That's one of the biggest things when I coach someone, especially if they've been training for a little while and they feel like they know. One of the things I'm always like, no, you don't know. Otherwise, you'd have the result that you want. So slow the exercises down. Make sure that the quality of each repetition is A1. Make sure the quality of each repetition is really, really good. Don't just go through the reps. Make sure that you're progressing your weights, your tempo, your repetitions, anything and everything progressively through the weeks. Because if you're not ticking all those boxes already, then you're already leaving gains on the table. Before you want to start doing more sets and more, there's no need for that. At the very beginning, at least, until you've ticked all these boxes, then you could maybe look into doing a little bit more work, session per session, week on week. So that's the first thing. Anyways, so straight into the overhead tricep extension. Here, this exercise is awesome and is goated because we know that muscles respond to being in the stretch position or the lengthened position and having a lot of tension in the lengthened position for muscle growth, right? We know that. That's been proven scientifically. So that's one of the things I like about this, is that it gets us in that position. And I'm sure, like myself, who works in the gym and has worked with people, you guys have all seen people do this exercise but then attach the cable at the top. Now what's wrong with that is the movement is essentially the same because it's just your elbow extending, right? But because it's at the top, you don't get as much of a stretch there where your arm is fully shortened. It's not fully shortened, where your bicep is fully shortened there. There's no stretch on the triceps if you take it from the top. Whereas what you'll see from the video that I'll superimpose is I take it from the bottom, and that allows me to stretch out the tricep as much as they can, because that's one of the things we need to do, have that arm or that elbow up in that position there, have as much tension in that position there, and then extend through. So that's one of the things I love about that. Similarly to the facing away curls, I prefer to do this one with one foot in front and the other foot supporting. My core's got to be really tight. I even do a little bit of a crunch when I do this because I don't like to have that upper position there where my hands are up above my head and I'm moving weight and then I end up feeling something in my lower back. So just pay attention to that as well. So just make sure that your core is nice and stiff, nice and tight, and then a little bit of a crunch position for me helps. That's something that you could also try. So again, like with every exercise, make sure that you push it close to failure, and then you progressively overload the exercise, whether that be with weight, whether that be with repetitions. But if I'm talking to guys mainly, I'd say do more repetitions. If I'm talking to girls, I'd probably say maybe see if you can add a little bit more weight, because that's normally where guys and girls tend to fall into. Guys normally like to do heavy weight just because they look a certain way and then they avoid all the gains that come from doing a little bit more repetitions, and vice versa. Women sometimes think they're not as strong as they are, and then I use the threes, so I'm always going to stay with the threes. So maybe it's time for you to move up to the fours now. And that's one of the things that might be holding your process or your progress back. Form cues with this one is to make sure that you keep your elbows up, almost tuck them a little bit, extend at the top as you extend for the triceps, and then you come down slowly and make sure your forearm touches your bicep. I always tell my clients that make sure that your forearm touches your bicep on the way down. If it's not touching, then you haven't fully stretched the tricep as yet. When it comes to what apparatus to use, you could either use the rope or you could use something like I'm using here, where it's like a little bit of a straight bar. I just feel like that's more stable, so then it feels like I can lift like slightly heavier loads with that, as opposed to the cables where sometimes my fingers get like pressed into the little bottom piece there. But again, it's personal preference, but whatever works the best for you and allows you to lift properly, lift with great technique, you do that. If there are any other questions or other things I haven't anticipated, because sometimes I do these videos from on the fly, make sure that you leave those in the comment section below. Drop me those questions, whether it's for this video or any other videos I might have covered, and I'll do my best to answer those. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.